start for Jafonzo and Young. Again, that was in Group A, but this is over in Group B. And it is the big one. The Iceman, Nicolas99, against Anders Vejrgang, recent FC Pro World Champion. It's not a knockout game, it's not a final. Believe it or not, it's just in the group stage, but regardless of that, a massive 3 points on the line here. One opportunity, Mike, to go to bed tonight knowing, look, I've got 6 points on the board. I've still got a handful of games to play tomorrow, but I'm on the right track. I'm back on the right wave.
And both of these competitors wouldn't be happy with a 5th or a 6th place finish. They're not trying to join the Resurrection or the Redemption or have to battle through a secondary bracket. They would have a higher expectation of definitely be front runners in the group regardless of the competition.
As we said, 8 players in each group here at the Esports World Cup featuring the AFC. Top 3 straight through to the knockouts. 4th, 5th and 6th going to that Resurrection part of the competition where you are still fighting to keep your tournament alive. And if you finish 7th or 8th, bottom 2 in the group, you will be eliminated. This could be an early start here. It's a great block from Haaland. Keeper goes down to ground, and it will go out for a goal kick in the end. That was Nicolas' first chance in the box of Anders Vejrgang. 5 minutes played here. If you didn't see the last matches they played, Anders beat Goal Poacher 4 goals to 2. And it was a narrow but important 2-1 win for Nicolas against Nathan SR, the CONMEBOL Libertadores champion this year.
And we should reiterate it for anyone that's just tuning into this matchup. There are no draws. We will play till there's a win. And that's different than some of our previous competitions. When you get to the finals, you're getting to the big stages, and you have a group. We typically have that built in. I like it. Personally, I'm into it. We just saw an incredible matchup with Dasari.
Big chance. Anders is going to be 1-0 down. 8 minutes in. Nicolas just got him into a scenario where he had to choose away of the goalkeeper movement. But what did he do? Cold, composed, typical Nicolas. Just took the extra few seconds, Mike.
I was going to say, he had too much time. He had too much time, Brandon. You see the end line work. I mean, we've seen goals like this, but you pause, you wait to see if the goalkeeper's going to scoot. You pick out a corner. It's lovely work here from Havertz. Extra pass, Haaland, additional. Again, Cruyff across the body, not an issue. And I've talked about it, but we're going to see it time and time again. The game is kind of isolating Haaland. You want to get on Haaland's island. You're going to see it on corner kicks. You're going to see it on some of the lobs and the knockdowns. You're also going to see it just with the general footwork if you can get in between the defense. The power, the size, the upgrades, maybe a cover star bonus, if you will.
I don't know if you saw that as well, Mike. He time green the finish.
Why not?
Had to be sure, didn't he? Nicolas leads by a goal to 0 here against Anders. Well, I think I rate more for most of Anders. No headset on, he's listening to the crowd, he's listening to us coming through the speakers. He's taking it all in here at the Esports World Cup. And so far, Nicolas fully in control of this.
It's crazy when you look at it. Last game we had Manu and MS Dasari, 2 world champions. Vejrgang, Nicolas, 2 world champions. And these are all in the same group, yet alone the remaining players in the competition. And there's not that many tournaments to really think about it. I mean, we've been doing this for quite a few years now, but in terms of the masses or the quantity, to be a champion, there's not that many guys that have that on the resume.
Just on top of that as well, Mike, for the years that we've been in this space and the years that these have played, they've only played each other 3 times. This is the 4th time they're matching up.
But that's less about Nicolas and more about Vejrgang. If you recall, we've had a lot of hype building. It was brewing. We saw everything online. Vejrgang was dominating at 14. Wasn't old enough to compete. So we had almost a 2-year period that we were waiting. We were saying, when's he coming out? When are we going to see him in action? And I'll tell you what, he has delivered the goods. He did not disappoint.
$600,000 and a bit more at just 18 years of age. Won $250,000 in Berlin at the FC Pro World Championships just a few weeks ago. If he was to go before we're here, $300,000 to our winner at the Esports World Cup featuring EA FC 24. Nicolas looking for a second in this game. He's been in full control of it so far. Back over to you, Anders. Long ball over the top. Mbappe, has he got the legs on Konate? Yes, he has. Can he bring Mateus into this attack? Well, he looked to just take his time. Went to corner, which will be taken very quickly, I can assure you. Quickly whipped into the box. There's Erling Haaland, and Konate just pushing him off balance to get him back in possession.
And those corner kicks end up being what feels like a 50-50. Typically, you get Haaland, run him near that near post, put it into action, see if you can get a favorable animation.
Offside.
And we talk about Vejrgang a lot, but it's because he's almost gone global icon or superstar at this point.
Bellingham. R9 expect those trademark step-overs to make their mark now. Little reverse elastico was pretty from Mbappe. Just didn't really get the animation he was looking for there, Mike.
And I'll track back. I'm not trying to discredit anything with Nicolas, but I look at a couple weeks ago, Anders is in New York City. He's on a billboard in Times Square. Same could be said earlier on this year. Vegas, he's on the Sphere. We've got a replay. Who's it from?
Well, it's Matías Bonano, Mike, who looks like he could be ending day one. 9 points from 9, leads 3 goals to 1 against goal poacher.
Another champion, all in the same group. We might sound like a broken record, but it has to be said. I'm going to keep playing that record.
Step overs are nice. Havertz. One ball, one more pass. Haaland, Cruyff! It's the one more pass that no one saw other than the Iceman. 2-0. He leads against Anders.
And it might look simple, but the way that he uses some of the R1 dribbling, the extra touch, inching out every little bit of space, gets the turn, get the delivery, and often Haaland's not really the provider, but it's been different thus far, at least in this matchup. And once you're into that bread and butter location, everyone's going to be able to convert and tap it home, but the end line work or the sideline combination, it's perfect.
Well, a few days ago in the last chance qualifier, the amount of goals that Nicolas was scoring from that byline, getting down the byline and then just forcing a decision from his opponent. Do you dive in? Do you step off? And next thing you know, he's put it through your goalkeeper's legs. Not on that occasion. What a start this has been. Anders Vejrgang has got a lot more to give. We have an update for you over here. PH leads MS Dasari by a goal to 0. That's just gone 15 minutes on the clock over in that game. Oh my days. Mike, Nathan SR is 4-0 up against Manu Bashir. I mean, what has happened there? Maybe he's burnt out from those penalties against MS Dasari. 4-0, Nathan SR leading.
I think you kind of nailed it. At least you teased it. It's hard to take a loss like that. He had a red card, he battled back, we saw extra time. There was plenty of back and forth where he was leading, where he was behind, a little bit of everything. And I was talking to you a little bit before we got started. I can't recall a penalty kick shootout at a competitive event that has gone that deep. I mean, you tell me if you've had one.
No, that was a lot of penalties. What, 22, 23? I
think it ended up 11 penalties on each end, or 11 conversions.
We went
10 or 11
again,
conversions, and they had a couple misses in there as well. Both goalkeepers in action. You never see that.
Nicolas, surely not third. One more pass. 33 minutes in. And Nicolas is cooking. He has been so in control of this game. You wouldn't believe he's playing against the current world champion.
I'll say this today, Vejrgang hasn't looked like himself. And maybe that's PHN's fault. Came on stage, was very interactive with the audience, didn't get into a flow. The biggest surprise, and it's been a reoccurring incident in this matchup, is his defense has not been that good. There's been holes. He hasn't been able to step the same way. Offensively, he still had moments of showcasing some of that free flow and fluidity, but on the defensive end, the mistakes are big ones. You can't leave those types of gaps, and that's not been what we've seen from Anders, especially not what we saw earlier this year when he just took down everyone with ease.
And he might not give much, Nicolas, in his celebrations. We'll come back to that in a second. Dasari 2-0 down against PH. PH looking to get back to winning ways after losing his last game. This has to go from Anders. Big chance of R9. Stopped in his tracks. Corner played short. Didn't want to go direct this time into Erling Haaland. Mbappe, Hullet. Not really sure what the idea there was, Mike. It looked pretty ordinary, that shot.
I'm surprised for the short corner as well. Just with the effectiveness we've seen with going direct. Sometimes even on the second bounce, your opponent can't get it out of there. You're able to make it work. Might not be the prettiest of goals, but either way, they still count the same.
Matías Bonano, what are you up to, my friend? 6-1. He is leading. Maybe we haven't spoken enough about him so far. 6-1 he leads. What a dominant display. I know he's not been on the main stage yet. Hopefully he will be tomorrow. 9 points from 9 he'll be on. Big chance to break away here for Anders. He's desperate for a goal. Some confidence back in this tie. 5 minutes for the break. Does well there to get that into R9. Wins another corner. The defending is good from Counterattack. Is he going to look to go direct into Haaland? He is. Front post, flick on. It's a goal back in the tie.
Still complaining about something on the defensive end. Nothing to do with that goal. That's also been on screen today. I feel as if the majority of the reactions or Anders having chats with the Furminator, even during the match, have not been related to what's actually happening in the game at that moment. So he's got other things happening, other things in his mind. We've seen this goal time and time again. That's not going to shift. You just can't beat Holland. If he gets into the right position or you get that favorable animation, it happens so quickly. There's not much you can do on the defensive end. I have been guilty of both scoring and conceding plenty of those goals throughout every weekend league.
I think when you're Anders' coach as well, there's a level where you just have to accept that he's going to talk a lot at you, and you've just got to take it. What's happening over here? Goal back, 48 minutes in the clock. What a first half that was from Nathan SR, by the way. 4-0 he was leading against Manu. Manu has got a goal back, still plenty of time left in that game. I can't wait to see this group table standings after this game is concluded, because other than Matthias Bonanno, no one's really going to be pulling away. Sort of everyone's picked up a result other than goal poacher, as it currently looks. Last chance of the half it. Nicolas leading Anders, 3-1. Is he on for a fourth? Down that byline again. Stopped there by Virgil van Dijk. And that will do us for the halfway point. The Iceman is looking cool and composed at the halfway point. He's in a great position, leading by 3-1.
And I mean, we've talked about it, but I think we have to bring it up again. When you look at Group B, Vejrgang, PH Zin, Matthias Bonanno, Manu Bashor, MS Desari, and Nicolas are all world champions, international champions, not winning something domestic, not getting the business done. In some of these instances, multiple times they've won world events. It is just remarkable. The creme de la creme, the best of the best. The grass is green, the sky is blue. In this group, I don't want to be in it.
It is the best group
I don't think we've ever seen a group better.
We haven't.
I looked through previous tournaments. I went through this. I went for a deep dive.
If you go through those players again, Mike, most of those players have earned over $500,000 in prize earnings. Just shows how good they've been and how much they have won in this esports space. Manu Bashor, 25 minutes left in the game now, has clawed another one back there with Mbappe. There is still time. Nathan SR was to give away a 4-goal lead. He wouldn't be sleeping well tonight.
Manu Bashor can form some sort of comeback, make something out of nothing. We saw that happen with the red card. I was ready to write that game off. I thought MS Desari would see it out easy. That was not what happened. If you want to watch back an instant classic with so many unexpected turns, previous game, put that on repeat. Emotion everywhere.
Red card, penalty, 6-6. 22 penalties between the two. PH in, still leading 2-1 against Desari. Desari has got a goal back in that one.
Sorry, heard us talking. He said, okay, I'll get you an update. We'll see if Vejrgang can give us a little more second half. Again, we didn't see some of the premium offense. Did miss a couple chances, a couple half chances he could have done better with. But defensively, I was very surprised. He more or less gave up the same goal 3 times. Bunch of end line work, and if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it. Nicolas is going to continue to look for that abuse.
Can he find the run of Cruyff? Down the byline, there's Havertz. Where's the cutback? Tries to stick it through the legs. It goes in! 4-1, Nicolas leads. It's been a trick up his sleeve. We saw it in the last chance qualifier. I don't know what the animation is, Mike, but he gets down the byline and he just pokes it through the goalkeeper's legs.
I scored that goal a lot. I mean, that one maybe a little favorable. It got a save, it bounced in, or it rolled across the line, but you can nutmeg the goalkeeper. Most definitely, and when you go for the finish, you kind of just give it a love touch. But you have to be angled properly, you have to get the animation properly, but it can be done on purpose. It's not a bit of luck or good fortune. You just have to kind of line it up. But everything there goes together, goes in his favor perfectly to get the secondary bounce off the defender, hits the back of the net. It's not easy on the ice, but it's still another defensive mistake. He shouldn't be there. And it's Holland again with the assist. He's feeding everybody.
He keeps letting him down the byline, and that's where Nicolas is creating all of his chances. 4-1, he leads now. And you can just see how frustrated Anders is on the left-hand side of your screen.
Someone as gifted as Anders Vejrgang offensively, we are talking about one of the greatest control, structure, defensive-oriented players of all time. I don't know if I can see it. He's got to start doing things quickly. You do have longer halves, of course. This year, that's been introduced. You've got time to work with. You just got to force Nicolas into that many mistakes, and you have to stop him.
And Nicolas will know more than anyone what his head-to-head results against Anders Vejrgang. He hasn't beaten him before. 2 defeats and a draw against him. The last time they played was here in Saudi Arabia last year. We've had to wait just over a year for these two to play again.
And if you've played a lot of FC, the other difficulty here, you can't rush. There's no way to rush or increase your risk without potentially giving up a lot of reward.
Down the byline again, he's looking to double up. With Haaland in there, didn't work out on that occasion. Chance for Anders now, Saka. Able to pull away. Can he outsmart Nicolas? One of the smartest FC players we know. Haaland, there's one! It's a start. And he's lapping up. Whoever support is maybe not coming his way, or is coming his way here in Riyadh.
Regardless of what happens, Brandon, it's a show. There's no doubt about that.
Box office. Win or lose, he's box office.
If anything, you might argue having an audience here is not beneficial for Anders Vejrgang. I don't know if I've ever seen him so distracted, but I'm here for all of it. I'm so dialed. I'm tuned in like you couldn't believe. My phone has been buzzing all day, ever since he's taken the stage. It's almost like there's a goal notification, whether he's scoring or he's conceding. Everything's vibrating. And if there's one thing Anders can do, he can score in bunches. I'm not trying to manifest or reverse the curse of a commentator, but it's just something we've seen through the last couple of years.
Someone else who can score a few as well, Matthias Bonanno, superb from you today. 7-1 victory in his last game. This could be a chance. Big tackle again from Nicolas. It is the question marks that now will come his way, as the press will be fierce. It will be difficult to deal with. Update over here, what we're looking at. We are looking at Nathan SR. Just pulling away from it, Mike. Had a 4-goal lead, didn't want to give it away. Now got a 3-goal cushion to fall back on. 5-2, he is in control. That
might be enough. The clock's ticking. Lovely little La Croqueta around the goalkeeper. You can kind of halfway cancel if you go into a shot animation or a passing animation. And it might be too little too late again for Manu Bashor.
Just offside there, Haaland. John Stones does well to delay the attack. Just wants a better run, really, from one of his attackers. R9 back to Haaland. Double block's going to get a fortunate bounce. He won't care. 4-3. Anders Vejrgang's on his feet.
And Brandon, he timed that green. Coming off the bounce, off the back end. A little bit of a deflection. Didn't need it, but why not? You see the early pop-off. Now you're in dangerous territory here. I wouldn't be surprised if a pause has been cued here from Nicolas to try to make some adjustments. Maybe just to take some thunder out of the room. Veteran move, if you will.
Just pause the game. Have a few words with Coach Fur, who sits alongside him. But look, you can say it's fair. The goal he conceded on one end, the goal that bounced back as well on the other end, it came around in the end.
Doesn't always go that way, but
no,
I'd say we've got a full circle moment there. Plenty of good favor. It's evened out. And again, if you're Nicolas here, I like that pause, actually. Just to have maybe a little of a regroup, let's talk about it, but also to change the pace. We talk about it all the time. Being able to shift the pace of a game or dictate the rhythm, and I know it's a pause and it doesn't change everything dramatically, but anything with the flow plays a big factor in the FC world. Everything is around timing, offensively and defensively.
That is the trophy they are playing for there. Of course, each player has their own individual key here at the Esports World Cup, which will either be destroyed or implemented into the totem, alongside all the other esports titles that have taken place here across the last 8 weeks in Riyadh. 22 in-game minutes left. Nicolas, you feel like one goal's not enough for him. What a win back that is from Bellingham, as the pressure just gets even more fierce from Anders. Those 2 goals have certainly given him a bit more confidence.
You can see that the pressure's been turned up. It's more aggressive, the double teams, the team press, micromanaging. I think Nicolas is going to need a fifth.
You feel like he is, Mike. One goal just isn't going to be enough. The speed of the player switching from Anders, the second man press, the overall pressure, the runs he's making with his midfielders there that are risky because gaps will appear like this. Haaland is onside. Can he get around? That was a penalty. The animation I wanted to say was not pretty at all. We said he needed another one. He won't get a better chance than this. Nicolas to reinstall a 2-goal cushion. It's Cruyff from the spot. And he's 20 in-game minutes away from a huge 3 points.
It was good defense on the pressure side, but it was a critical error once he had possession. He gave it right back to Nicolas. Opens up a lot of space. Your offensive players were already transitioning, or sorry, your defensive players were already transitioning to offense. They're out of position. And again, Nicolas to Haaland. Haaland down that end line or down the sideline. He's the guy. He's been the guy, and he draws a penalty kick. It's a weird animation. It's a clear pen. Nicolas able to convert. Again, another pause. You're going to go even more defensive. If you're anything, Nicolas probably looking to swing it side to side as much as possible. Take down the clock. Anders, if he can get a goal, let's say by the 80th minute, maybe even 81st, 82nd, he'll at least have 1 to 2 additional chances.
Just a small technical change there to be sorted. I mean, the good thing is as well, Mike, in another breath here, is that regardless of what the result is, they are going to go back after this game. The players sleep. They've still got 4 more group games to play. In some ways, that's beneficial for some that might not have had the start or the end to the day that they would have wanted to.
I mean, this is the reality. I don't have a problem going on record with this. Both these competitors will get out of the group. That's how I see it happening. So they'll be in that top 6. But the real debatable, the conversation, the narrative, the ball bouncing this way or not going for you or being able to handle the pressure is that top 3. And with the top 3 in each group, it's more than just being in the upper bracket. You are guaranteed $50,000, which in many years, that would be the top prize, winning the biggest of events. Just to put it into perspective, and if you don't think these competitors have that in the back of their mind, they might be trying to bury it down, but it's there.
You can't ignore it.
And a top 8 placement, I would say, guarantees you a big contract, some sort of partnership, additional brands, even your personal gain from a content creator perspective or a live streamer, a pro player, your reputation, your credibility. It's all tied to how you close out the year.
I think we've seen that even from the approach of some of the teams, even Cloud9 coming in, scooping up Nicolas, putting pen to paper before he even was confirmed at the Esports World Cup. They knew he'd pull through, and he did in the end. Some full-time results coming through there, you can see on your screen. Big chance, what a turn that is, what a tackle somehow. Scooped off the feet of Kylian Mbappe.
See some of those silky looks from Anders again, step overs, changing direction.
Update for you, we have a replay. It's not an equaliser for Emis Dasari, it's another goal for PAG in 3-1. He looks like he's closing out that game, which would be 6 points for PAG at the end of the day. Emis Dasari would be on 3, Matthias Bonanno would be on 9. Unfortunately for goal poach, it would be 0 from 9 as well. Would not be looking pretty for the Montpellier FC Pro player. Saying that still, Anders Vejrgang could only be on 3 points as well from a possible 9. Unless he can turn it around these last 10 in-game minutes. Haaland's round the corner. Is there a cutback available? Goes for a Trivela on his own. The angle was certainly interested, but gets himself a corner.
I think that has to come into play there. What's the best decision? Pro players always looking to play percentage. If you get a favorable animation, perhaps you're able to beat the goalkeeper. Second option, maybe it turns into a rebound. That could be favorable for you as well. Of course, a piece of luck there. Worst case, you're thinking corner kick. And we've seen how corner kicks change games. Today, I think the most corner kicks we've seen in one game scored/conceded 5 between 2 competitors. I mean, that's game-shifting type of conversion from set pieces, especially where you're looking for margins.
Yeah, a corner might as well be a penalty sometimes this year on FC24. how often they're going, but you're right. If you can't get the angle you want, win a corner. We've seen how deadly they are, especially with that aerial plus, that 99 rated footies Haaland. Last couple of changes being made. It will be a corner for Anders to come in. Still needs 2 goals. There's Nicolas about to pick up his second win on the bounce. One against Nathan SR in his last matchup. Attention, an even bigger result here against Anders Vejrgang. The first time it would have beaten him on a big stage like this. Corner came in, nothing came from it. De Bruyne. Back to Haaland! We got a game on our hands! 9 in-game minutes, only 1 goal that separates the two.
And about as picture perfect as you'd like. A lot of pressure you're gonna be feeling now on Nicolas' end. We've seen, again, you got a lot of time to work with. We talked about it. Could you get something by the 80th minute? It's been done. Some favorable bounces, still had to green time it, put it across the body. We talk about kind of putting it into the mixer sometimes. The offensive players have been so upgraded. You can make the same argument for some of the defenders, but I do feel there is an edge when you look at the most meta guys that are up front or in that final third.
Rafael Leao comes on just to inject some pace now. Back in possession is Anders Vejrgang. Can he break down the Iceman? Block by block.
You can feel the tension a little bit. I think it's taking another notch up.
6 in-game minutes now. Every decision so crucial. Just like that one to Hernandez. Long ball away. Is he going to win the 50-50 battle? He is with Alex Mateus in control. Doesn't need to go in the box, can take more time out of the game. Lofts it in deep. He knows that Peter Crouch, of all players, are going to get there. Smart from Nicolas, taking more time out of the game. Anders will get another roll of the dice. There is still any time to follow, remember. It's Virgil van Dijk, though. It's the wrong player. What a through ball that is, Kai Havertz. Can he get more players into this attack? No, he can't. Rudiger gets back possession. The press still remains relentless, though, from Anders. He's trying to play out of it, Mike, but he can't. Back to the feet again with the FC Pro World Champion. Saka around the corner. Are we in for a 5-5? Are we in for extra time? Anders Vejrgang. You never write him off.
If he's not a showman, I don't know who is. It's something. And I was going to talk about it. The clearances, I don't think you can do it, but at the same time, you're not going to be able to swing it side to side for free. There's going to be a punishment. There's going to be a cost to being that defensive, being that passive at the end of the game. And if anything, Nicolas took a risk of clearing it deep and counting on his defense. Could the defense make a stop?
I think that might be the first smile we've seen from him today as well. He hasn't had too much to smile about. There was always a chance. There was always a question mark. Would Nicolas be able to freeze this game out? Or would Anders come back again? 5-5. There is a couple of in-game seconds left, Mike, and it will be Nicolas with that kickoff.
Nicolas might be able to formulate one more attack here. You do get a little bit of time to work with, even towards the end of these matchups. And it's got to be said with Anders with the goal. It's classic as they come. Just a wake up, step over. Gives you that instant speed boost. If you're looking to get into the pro level scene, you have to be good with the step overs or the body feints. There's certain skills that are just required. I'd make the same argument for the ball roll. It's a lot of the simple skills, or even integrating different versions and variations of some of the fake shots. Mandatory at all levels.
Some of the late changes that Nicolas made in the game as well. He might have to take those players into extra time. Peter Crouch coming on, Mike. Have you ever seen Peter Crouch in a
I understand it.
Before?
6'7" with aerial. I get it. Brand new footies item. I get the logic. You now have another guy you can lob it to see out a game. Just before this, they had an opportunity where Peter Crouch was climbing that ladder. Rocket ship Crouch, winning knockdowns. I'm telling you, I think, or I believe, and it's easy to do this from this position. Hindsight is perfect. Nicolas went a little too defensive, a little too early.
And was left in a position, Mike, where he had to just try and see it out and see the clock out. And it's hard to do when you've got And there's Vejrgang just putting everybody forward. 3 minutes of added time. There's enough time there to make a chance happen for one of these two. 5-all. And we're only in the group stages here at the Esports World Cup featuring FC24. Nicolas, have you still got some ice left in those veins for us? 30 in-game seconds left. Looks like the last chance to fall to him. Cruyff, dispossessed. Anders might get it. No, he won't. We've played the added time. Extra time will be needed. 10 goals between the two. Nothing to separate them after 90 minutes.
Nicolas has done well there to close out the game, though. I know he didn't get that final chance, but he took the clock down. He was still controlled. He's in the right areas. I see Anders definitely feeling energized. If anything, Nicolas should have been doing that maybe for the last 15 minutes, where it was going side to side, but you're still looking to push it forward. You still had an aggressive side. You still were looking to extend the lead. I just think Anders is so unforgivable when it comes to trying to hold the ball. You can't play not to lose. You have to go for it at all times.
You can't argue, Mike, against the games we've seen today. We know we're looking at the best of the best, the creme de la creme, as you said.
Read it out. Read it out, though. You can't make up the matchups. You can't make up the results. They just keep going. There's a fight in every game.
And unfortunately, with matches like this, we're going to have to go to a penalty shootout again, Mike. So maybe be ready for it. 30 more minutes, though, before we get there. Has Anders started to shift into that next gear after a really slow start in this tournament? How will Nicolas bounce back after conceding those two really late goals?
And I'd like this on the record. We should not and will not, and I definitely will not write off Nicolas. These are positions he's been in many, many times.
Chance R9 step overs.
Ooh.
Mbappe goes down to ground. We've seen penalties given for much less. That's a nice win. Saka and Mbappe. Aggressive tackle. The finish was red timed if it did come off from Mbappe.
I was going to say Nicolas is the master of bend but don't break. Games that are 50-50 never seem that way with Nicolas.
Rafael Leo about to defend. And that's a poor pass there from Nicolas. That's not what he's all about. He's been very fortunate, though, to get the ball back. As we said, last game of the group stages here from day one. There are still 4 group games to be played in both Group A and Group B. Full of competitors here at the Esports World Cup featuring EA FC 24. It's only day 1 of 4 as well, so if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, there is plenty more coming here from Riyadh. Live here in Saudi Arabia. The Esports World Cup has been going on for the last 6 weeks or so, and there's still much more to come. 10 minutes already zoomed past in this extra time period. Haven't seen much from Nicolas yet. Are we going to see it now? Peter Crouch, was he onside? He was. Peter Crouch, ball rolling,
wow.
finesse it.
Come on.
What world are we living in here?
I'm telling you, this Peter's different, brother. And
how's he pulled out?
In theory, Brandon, what's changed? He's got Haaland out, and Peter Crouch is now in that same role. So someone who maybe doesn't dribble as well, not quite as explosive, he's going to climb the same. Still going to have some footwork to work with. You might be able to argue the passing could even get a little more precise. It doesn't really make sense. We've never talked about it at the competitive level. It's a brand new item.
I bet Anders is sitting there saying, how's Peter Crouch just done that? But look, this is footies. This is endgame, FC 24, and you're getting all sorts of promo players coming out.
Crouch would be so proud of this. You could probably argue he's been getting the raw end in previous games. Doesn't have a lot of usability, even at an intermediate level. Well, he's in motion now.
Back to you, Anders Vejrgang. Have you got to reply for a 6th time in the game? Is Nicolas going to be able to see this one out into half-time? He would end the day on 6 points from 9. It's not bad going when you look how difficult this group is.
If you're in this group, I think all competitors would be okay with 6. Day 1, you're good with that. You might still be thinking about whatever loss you had, the bounce that didn't go your way, or a missed opportunity, but you still walk away with 6 points on the board. And this is going to be more of an interchangeable group in terms of a lot of, this guy won against this player, and this player was able to beat that guy, and this is a bogey option or a bogey matchup, but you didn't play as well, or you were fantastic. You get where I'm going. I don't think it's going to be as clear-cut. I know we've talked about Badano, but even tomorrow, I don't think it's going to be as clear-cut.
I know Badano's flying around, but no player leaves this group firstly unbeaten.
There you go.
Points will be dropped, but just how many points are going to be dropped?
Yeah.
Half-time, 15 in-game minutes away Nicolas is from giving Anders Vejrgang his second defeat here in just 3 games at the Esports World Cup.
Yeah, you're not getting out of this group unscathed.
No.
I just don't see how it's possible. And if we could see it with Nathan or Gold Poacher, both of them come in clear underdogs amongst the other competitors, less of the same track record, way less competitive achievement. That's not a knock on those guys. That's not taking away. That's just not disregarding. I'm just reporting on the facts, what's already happened, what we've seen in previous installments, even what we've seen this year for some of these guys. But if they were able to get their way into that top 6 conversation, we're going to see a champion go home, or a former champion eliminated early.
As you said, Mike, top 6 is where you want to be. Top 3 gets you straight into that knockout stage, straight into that final day. Or if you're 4th, 5th or 6th, you're going to the resurrection stage where you will still be fighting to remain in the Esports World Cup here in Riyadh. 11 goals between these two, honestly. Some of the best FC24 you would have seen all year long.
If this ends up being a Peter Crouch finesse shot after a ball roll cutting inside, we're going to have a story time.
I'd like to say it'll be the first and last time, but probably not going to be, is it?
I wanted it in one of the plays of the day. When we do a rewind, that needs to be in the list.
Big chance for Nicolas. Big chance for Peter Crouch again. One more pass into Rafael Leao. Top corner. 7-5. Nicolas leads.
Brandon, all 7 goals have came from Holland or Peter Crouch involved in the setup. Whether it's a direct layoff or they scored the goal directly themselves. Every single attack, it goes through that large and in charge, classic target man, big body, plenty of shoulders, a little bit brawly. I would say in the gym, but Crouch is on the thinner end. But that style of player.
The 2 super sub, Mike, have come through and clutched up for Rafael Leao and Peter Crouch. You would never say that sentence, would you?
I think Peter Crouch could have had a double there, too. He had already broken down the defender. He was in space. He could have gone at it alone.
It could get worse here. David Ginola's even on the pitch. Some of these substitution choices from Nicolas have been very different. There is still 10 minutes. It's how he plays these last 10 minutes. He did it before Anders from a scenario just like this. Does he go and score again, or does he just drain time out the game? Long ball in. Peter Crouch! What are we witnessing in the Esports World Cup? Nicolas 8, Anders Vejrgang 5, and Peter Crouch is on for a hat-trick. I'm
not sure if the SBC is still available. He was like 40,000 coins. If you needed a recommendation or a big cosign, a stamp of approval, go get you a Peter Crouch. If only they still had the robot in the game. I'm doing it right now in the commentary booth. You can't stop me.
I'm sure there'll be a lot more people using them this weekend coming.
Unreal, unreal. You might argue the footwork is better with Peter Crouch than even Holland.
It's the best it's ever been. Well, 3-goal cushion for Nicolas. And it might be a few more than that. What response from Nicolas after losing to Manabishore in his first opening game. Such a difficult group where every point means so much. And I said it and I'll say it again, Mike. It is in some ways a blessing that, look, the groups are over multiple days here. It's not been the best day for Anders. 3 points from 9. It can go back today analyse, come back. He's got 4 more big group games to come.
I'm just looking at these stat lines with Mr. Crouch. Pretty unbelievable. 98 sprint speed. Still available, by the way, if you're at home. You want to add a new striker into the lineup, even as a super sub. '96 strength on Peter Crouch. I've never seen anything like it.
I think he's going straight in your team.
I've already got him. I had him out of the rotation. What was I thinking? The disrespect.
Well, added time to follow any second now. The storyline has been this: Nicolas has never beat Anders Vejrgang on the world stage. Well, this time he has. He might have needed extra time, but the Iceman strikes once again. Cool, calm, composed as ever. nicolas99 with a massive win against Anders Vejrgang at the Esports World Cup. Huge result, which will shake up the group standings. Wow. No one is safe in the Esports World Cup featuring AFC. Every point means so much. And the best part is, my LaBelle, tomorrow we do it all over again.
You might argue tomorrow's even a little bit better because we see those Olympic